We're now about to go live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. My gosh, I'm a little loud there. There we go. Hey, wow, it's Tuesday, and it is September 10th, 2024. Where have our lives gone? Well, they're right here. And where you are, it's September 10th. And I am sitting next to the Dean of Dentistry over to my left or right. I can never figure it out.
Stage right.
Stage right? Yes. Or stage left? No, stage left would be that way. Stage right would be that way.
Correct.
There he is on stage right. That's Dr. Kevin Coughlin from Bay State No. Ascent Dental.
Let me get the buzzer out early.
Oh, my God. Is he hearing this?
That's okay, Bob. I owned Bay State Dental for over 30 years.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And I'm very proud of what we did. And I sold it to a wonderful company that is trying their best to keep the same success that I had.
But yet, Kevin, we can still do this.
Yes, we still can do this.
Oh, my God. Kev,
Currently, I own Ascent Dental Care, Ascent Dental Solutions, and Ascent Laser Aesthetics.
I got it. Hey, Kev, could you move your camera just a little bit? You look like we only see there. Now we see a bigger shot of you. There you are.
How's that? A little better?
Oh my God, you're wearing your Nike dentistry shirt today. You got it.
Yes.
What are they into dentistry now? What is this, Peter Coles?
We wear disposable gowns now for infection control purposes, so no one actually ever sees what you're wearing underneath these disposable gowns.
Oh.
You know, I'm old enough where most of your listeners probably remember a doctor in a white coat. But for infection control purposes, those white coats are sort of passé. There's blood products on it, aerosols on it. So I think the white coats are really today mostly for show. When you're providing care and treatment with people like a dentist,
right,
or any physician that's doing surgical or any procedure that would create blood or byproducts, the white coat would be inappropriate because it would be ruined about 2 minutes after you started the day.
Oh, my God. Wow. I got to comment on that in a minute, but let me tell who that guy above me is in the center square between the two thorns down here on the bottom of the screen. That is Peter Coles, our kitten of the keys and our director of the dials, et cetera, and we are pleased to have him here, and we're glad to be here. It's Westfield
because this afternoon I'm on vacation.
You start your vacation today?
Yes.
I fly to Tennessee, Bob. He's leaving us. He's going to Tennessee.
You're kidding me.
I fly at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
My God, are you going to Nashville?
Well, we're going to fly to Nashville. We're actually going to go to Pigeon Forge. We're going to go to the Great Smoky Mountains. She
is going to Dollywood. He is going to Dollywood.
No,
she's going to be there to greet you.
Christy's going to Dollywood.
Christy's going to Dollywood. Oh my God. Have you been to that, Kevin?
I have never been to Tennessee.
No.
But I hear it's a beautiful state, and it's on my bucket list like so many other things.
Oh yeah. I did Dial M for Murder for 6 weeks in Tennessee. In a dinner theater there, and in Nashville, and I just thought it was such a revelation to me that this is a southern college town in its own way.
Really
I mean,
is,
it's south and it's college. It has a real feel. And when you think country western, you think, oh my gosh, oh no, it's country western, but it's so much more than country western. Wouldn't you say, Pete?
It's we did it during COVID, and we still had a blast.
Yeah.
And then she was looking for other things to do, but the flight was so cheap to Nashville, and I had a companion pass. The deal I got was we're flying two of us for about $250.
Wow.
Both round trip.
Holy mother of God.
Yeah.
Holy mother of flight.
So I couldn't pass up something like that, and then she was able to get the vacation time, and I'm like, let's just go.
Yeah.
We might not necessarily have enough money to go, but we're gonna go.
Well,
and I need a vacation. Like it's been a busy summer.
Yeah.
It really never let up this summer, so
Yeah.
I need a break.
We've had a crazy summer. But it's always good. It just seems like just a minute ago we were with Dr. Kevin Coughlin. He comes every month to our show and he provides us all kinds of wonderful information. And we switch up like for instance today, Pete. What I'd like to do is I'd like to play some of the songs from the 7 o'clock hour. In the 6 o'clock hour.
You just tee me up and I'll get it ready.
All righty. Hey, Doc, I wanted to go back to that idea of lab coats because I noticed you said something really interesting. That you said that people wear the white coats for more effect, and I noticed sounds crazy, on QVC. Whenever Dr. Denise comes on, Dr. Denise sells beauty products or something. She wears a lab coat, and I remember that oftentimes there are other beauty and vitamin people and stuff, and they wear this white coat. But you're saying now that when somebody is wearing a white coat, you got to be sort of circumspect about that because it is catching all of the ear diseases, or what goes on? I mean, the blood.
Bob.
Well, for me as a dentist, wearing a white coat chairside, in my opinion, would be unacceptable. As soon as you start the high-speed drill, as soon as the water starts to spray, you'd be infecting that white coat with saliva and blood products and every other product that you can imagine, since the mouth is one of the only areas of the human body that we don't know how to sterilize. It's constantly filled with bacteria, and that's why a human bite is so dangerous, because there's so much bacteria in the mouth. So
that's a new one for me. You mean like if I bit you, that's more dangerous than if you were stung by a bee? Or no, not bee, by bee.
Much more dangerous. Much more dangerous. The mouth is a cesspool of bacteria and infectious products. In a bite that breaks the skin, you would certainly require a tetanus shot. And
Really?
in today's day and age, you'd actually ask that individual to be tested for HIV. This is just common protocol in any healthcare. For example, if I was giving you an injection for a typical dental procedure, and by accident or unintentionally the patient moves quickly, or the doctor just sometimes isn't paying as close of attention as possible, and that needle penetrates their skin,
Right.
Then you have a complete protocol for OSHA to make sure that the provider, which could be a dental assistant, a dental hygienist, a dentist, or in some cases, a patient. And the protocol is you have to be tested. You can't force people to be tested.
Right.
But generally, most of the public in today's day and age would probably volunteer for a test to reduce the chance of transmission of hepatitis or HIV.
Right.
Those are the two probably the most common concerns.
Right.
But anything is possible today. The
Wow.
bottom line is the white coat shows a symbol of a higher
Authority.
education, knowledge,
Yeah.
professionalism.
And
But-
authority. I mean, like,
Yes.
let's face it. A man in a white coat is like a man who has a British accent. You immediately think that they're smarter than you,
or a female. in
or a
white
female.
coat.
Oh my gosh!
Right now
sure,
in
sure.
dentistry, almost more than half the providers are females. When you look at the 60
How
dental schools in
wonderful.
the United States, it's pushing over 50% are women joining the field.
Do you think women got into that because there's not as much of an emergency component to it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like
The
they can set
light
office
time-
hours, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Ascent Dental has a 24-hour service,
Right.
most of the time as a general dentist, you're not going to be called after hours to perform care and treatment.
Yeah.
You might call in a prescription, you might answer questions, but in most cases, true dental emergencies are relatively rare. Okay.
Oh, yes,
So
but ring, 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 doctor. Doctor, doctor. Oh, God, I can't stand the pain. You got to take this tooth out. You got to do something. Please.
Here,
You
here's
hear
the
that
answer.
on your machine, and then what
Bob,
do you do?
Take some of my.
I hate to complain about my age because I don't, but 40 years ago, I would go down to the office
Yeah.
and take your tooth out or provide care.
Right.
Today, it would almost be considered malpractice to go into the office after hours and treat a patient without some kind of supervision, either a
Oh,
clinical assistant
Yep.
or a dental hygienist or another dentist. To be in an office situation by yourself with either a male or a female after hours, I believe you're setting yourself up for some significant potential problems.
And
Wow.
doctor,
Number
wouldn't it
one,
also?
if there was an actual emergency,
Yeah.
a heart attack,
Wouldn't it,
patient faints, they have a diabetic coma, they have an epileptic effect. When you're the only person there, how do you support, call for emergency, support the patient? And again, dentistry is sort of special in that you're always concerned with aspiration. In other words, most of the tools and devices that a dentist use are smaller than a thumbnail. So without that support, aspiration, someone swallowing a dental burr, pieces of tooth structure are relatively high. So the bottom line is if you're going to adhere to the standard of care today, practicing without support after hours, I would say that I've been used numerous times as quote, I'll put quotes, as a dental expert for insurance companies. I would say that that doctor, even though they're doing the best they can to help Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
right.
would be outside the standard of care.
Ah, so when somebody calls you with that kind of emergency, what do you say? Do you say, "Oh, well, let me call my hygienist to see if she could come in," or your assistant,
at
or
Ascent Dental,
yeah,
we have a system where we have a group that is available. Okay. And that group would meet me at the office so that we could perform whatever care or service is needed.
right,
I'm not making this out to be something more special than I believe we already are,
Right.
but many offices don't have that type of support team.
sure,
Okay. They might not have as many employees.
Right.
They might not have the flexibility. Currently, our offices are open till 8 p.m. at night to begin with,
wow,
and we're open on Saturdays. So the chances of it happening in our facility are still there, but they're much less likely. But to answer your question, there is a system in place where that dentist would not go in on their own. Obviously, if it's a true emergency, generally they'd be told to go to Bay State Medical Center or Mercy Hospital
right.
to the
Or your
ER.
local hospital if you're in
Yes.
some other place than the Western Massachusetts area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then usually, I can't say always, but I know I'm on call at Bay State Medical Center. So depending on the month of the year, the ER would call and say, Dr. Coughlin, can you come down to see Mr. or Mrs. Smith?
Right. Right. Peter, did you
and-
have a question?
Yeah,
for
wouldn't it also be easier to work on the tooth if you can get antibiotics and like anti-inflammatories into them? Wouldn't it be easier if the inflammation in the gums comes down? It would be a lot easier to take the tooth out.
Absolutely, but try telling Mr. and Mrs. Smith to wait 24, 48, or 72 hours when they can't stand the pain.
Oh, I remember that because remember I had to have a crown done during the Big E.
Oh,
And it was a couple of days. You get me in like 2 days, but it was
Yeah.
still 2 days, and I remember that. It's not fun. Trust me,
No.
it wasn't fun. But I remember it was
And
like
then
4 or 5
a lot
years
has
ago.
to do with the patient's medical history. If that patient was a diabetic, we'd be more likely to want to see them sooner. if that patient had seizure disorders, if that patient was on immunocompromised medical issues, they were
Sure.
being treated for cancer. An infection and a problem for patients like that would be much more severe than somebody who's what we call an ASA1. This is someone who's very, very healthy. This is someone you don't suspect will have medical complications.
Right.
And then you have an ASA4 or
What does the
5.
ASA stand for?
It's the American Society of Anesthesiologists,
Oh,
and they have patients graded, and a grade 5 or 6 means death is imminent.
oh
That
my
patient
gosh.
probably will not make it through the next few days to few months.
So, Doc, just to get something off my shoulder here, not off my shoulder, out of my brain, you mentioned that death is imminent. Could you ever die of a dental?
You get
So,
sepsis.
I mean-
just so we're on the same page, I've been doing hospital dentistry at Bay State Medical Center
Right.
for 38 years. And most of those patients are severely, severely ill.
Oh,
Unfortunately, they have dental problems. So they're not going to die because of the dental problems, but at that point, these last few days and last few months of life, you want to try to make Mr. and Mrs. Smith as comfortable as possible.
sure.
Many times their dental care has been neglected because it's low on the totem pole.
Right.
They have much more serious problems that they need to address,
Right.
but they're suffering because of pain and discomfort. And in most cases, the type of patient that I'm describing, I would treat that patient in an operating room, and I usually select Bay State Medical Center because it's the Trauma One hospital.
Right.
Also, over 38 years, we've been able to provide a wonderful array of dental care and dental treatments. Most hospitals do not have a dental unit where
Yeah.
you can perform dental treatment.
Yeah. So we're very
Obviously,
fortunate then to have one at Bay State Medical
oh
in,
yes,
in Western Mass.
I can go back 40 years, and when you went to the hospital, basically they had almost no dental instrumentation.
Yeah.
Okay, but today I can only speak for Bay State, but Bay State has a full array. We could do root canals, we could do gum surgery, we could do
Wow.
dental implants, we could do extractions, fillings, we could clean Mr. and Mrs. Smith's teeth.
Right.
But the original question is I don't want the public to think that people will die in today's day and age of dental disease,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're having dental care done because their other diseases, although life-threatening,
Right.
that's what's going to do them in. But somebody's got to provide some kind of palliative care or
Right.
immediate care because they can't stand the pain.
I got it.
So even though you're in your last few weeks of cancer treatment and you know that death is imminent, you want those last few days and few weeks to be as comfortable as possible, and your preference would be to try to treat with medication to try to get Mr. and Mrs. Smith as comfortable as possible. But I can't tell you how many times over 38 years you go to the operating room, and generally you're removing teeth to reduce the pain and discomfort that Mr. and Mrs. Smith are suffering with.
I got it. So does it change if that call in the middle of the night is about my kid, my young baby?
Actually, in my opinion, and in my own experience, most of the time it's a mom and dad, and it's been a bicycle accident, a sports
Oh
accident.
yeah.
It's happened after hours, and they're calling and saying, the teeth have been knocked out.
Yep.
I don't know what to do. So
Right.
I just want the public to know that it's not that the dental office doesn't care. It's not that the dental office doesn't want to help, but to be in an office by yourself without direct supervision from another professional
Right.
would be considered below the standard of care.
Right.
So unfortunately, in the world that we live in today,
Right.
even though you're doing what I think is the right thing, helping little Johnny or little Mary, if there was a problem, if there was a situation, you wouldn't have a leg to stand on because you'd be operating below the standard of care because you did not have a support team with you.
I get it. My question then is, if a child loses a tooth, supposedly, and it's a second tooth, what do you call those? Second,
A permanent tooth.
A permanent
or a
tooth.
Primary or baby tooth.
Okay. Could you implant it back in the mouth within a certain amount of time? So I'm just thinking of those parents out there who have that happen, and you
Generally, if it's a primary or baby tooth, the standard of care would not be to reimplant it. So if it's a baby or primary tooth and it was avulsed or knocked out, the standard of care would not to be replanting it. And that's because the success is very low, and you're also taking a chance of damaging the permanent tooth that's developing below it.
So does the permanent tooth ever come out in such a way that it could be replaced?
Well, if it was a permanent tooth,
Right.
a permanent tooth was avulsed or knocked out, and it was done within, let's say, an hour, then the protocol would be to reimplant that tooth.
Wow.
This is a permanent tooth, not
Yes.
a primary or baby
Right,
tooth.
right.
And generally, some of the things that a family could do is they would put the tooth in milk.
Oh.
They would put the tooth in water, and the ideal situation would be for them not to touch the root of the tooth.
Right.
Just touch the crown portion,
Right.
the portion that would be exposed in the mouth, because when you touch the root, you'd be contaminating it and you'd increase the chance of rejection or
Right.
infection.
Sure. Wild. And so you would want to get to the dentist's office in an hour or so.
An hour or less. The quicker that tooth is implanted, the success rate goes up dramatically. If that tooth is handled correctly and inserted back in the patient's mouth within an hour,
Right.
the success rate is in the high 80-85%.
Oh my gosh. So it might be smart for folks to know the hospital, because you're not necessarily going to get a private doctor within an hour to do this, right? You may then need to go to a hospital right away, to the emergency room, and know
And
that
then an
fact.
on-call dentist. Generally, the hospitals don't have a dentist on staff 24/7.
Right.
They have plenty of physicians and all kinds of different specialists, but a dentist is generally, in my experience, not going to be just waiting for something to happen.
Sure,
They would
of
be on
course.
call, and generally in this area, they pick one dentist each month, and a dentist rotates through the schedule and volunteers being on call for that particular month.
Okay, so a responsible parent, their child falls online, or somebody they're in a fight or whatever happens. The tooth is there, you got an hour, it's sort of like bing, 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 bing. What am I going to do? What do you tell somebody to do?
I would tell them to try not to touch the root of the tooth,
Right,
pick it up, place it either in water or milk,
right,
and transport that tooth to either the dental office if it's in, let's say from 7 in the morning till 8 at night.
right.
Most
Just
dental offices
get
may
to
be
the
open.
office right there. Don't
Right.
call and say, I'm going to do this.
I would call
yeah.
them en route to get my heads up
Or
that you're
call 'em.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but if it's after hours, and when you call that dental office isn't open, then I would say, if it's in this area, you might want to call Ascent Dental. But if you didn't,
Yeah.
you would call, you'd go to the ER, and that emergency room physician, I would like to think, would probably try to insert that tooth, he or herself,
Right.
and then tell you to see a dentist in the morning. And the reason for
got
that
it,
is
got it.
when we insert the tooth back in the mouth, it really should be splinted to some good healthy teeth. because the tooth would be loose. And as soon as little Johnny or Mary started to bite or chew,
Right.
that tooth would start to move around.
Right.
So usually we place a little orthodontic wire to hold the tooth in place, or some composite, which is like a tooth-colored cement, to hold that tooth into position for anywhere from 7 to 14 days.
I gotcha. Oh, my God. Oh, amazing. Hey, Doc, you going to be able to stick around for a little bit for us?
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you.
All right. I wonder, you know what today is? Peter, it's
today
the
is the 9th of
7/15.
September.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, you're lying. It is September 10th to all those that are
Oh,
listening.
that's excellent. You're correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're a day behind because
Usually Bob screws that up.
I screw it up. The beautiful weather here might be here tomorrow. I hope in the background. We tape on Monday afternoon, so you're not live. However, Doc, today is National Hot Dog Day.
Oh, boy. I love a Costco hot dog.
You are
$1.50.
Costco.
It's still the best deal around.
Really?
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, oh, you mean like when you go in? Oh, those,
Yeah, in the food
those-
court.
Those huge.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I
Oh.
think, Pete, it's a hot dog. It's a
Is
Hot
it
dog
a-
and a
bag of
soda for
chips in a soda
for like $5 or
$1.50 and a half.
$6.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that an all meat hot dog?
Yeah,
Or-
their quality's pretty good.
Their quality? Yeah. So interesting. The hot dog, okay.
How about
is
Frankfurter?
Frankfurter. Is it because this is from Frankfurt, Germany?
It comes to the tradition of German sausages.
Okay, so it's a Frankfurt,
The
Germany.
hot dog is an Americanized version of a German sausage.
Frankfurter. Okay, so this is so interesting. I'm addicted. You're gonna die when I tell you. No, you're not gonna die. I hope you don't die when you hear this. There's no reason to. I am addicted to listening to the reels that the Lennon sisters from Lawrence Welk do now. The youngest is like 77, 76 years old. The oldest is like 83 or 85. They still perform. They perform with their little sister, who is now in her 60s or early 70s, named begins with M and an I. I can't remember. Mira, Mina, Minnie. Oh, I don't. Mimi. That's it. Mimi. Okay, got it. Okay. So at any rate, I'm addicted to watching these things, and they do these reels about their. Go online or go to YouTube, and you can connect to the Lennon sisters. But they're actually having like a live show where they bring on. This is they do it once a month, and they answer questions and they play music and stuff. So they show these reels from the show. So they show Mr. Welk introducing Peggy Lennon, one of the sisters, with Charlie Pilato, who is one of the older band members. Okay, and they have these theme programs, and so they have her singing. She's at a fair. And she's playing this like floozy in a whatever with this older man, and she sings this song. And I saw it the other day, and I said, Lawrence Welk actually has this. The name of the song is Frankfurter Sandwiches, and the idea here is that the girl wants the man says, my wife or my girlfriend loves Frankfurter sandwiches, and that's all she wants to have is Frankfurter sandwiches. And there's all this innuendo, and you've got Peggy Lennon eating this big hot dog and taking bites out of this hot dog like that picture of that candidate for office years ago taking a dog and a stick at some kind of place. And
Bob, are we being inappropriate again?
no, I'm not. I'm trying not to. Okay. So what I'm saying is you gotta go. I'm not going to play that version, but you gotta go online and see Peggy Lennon sing this Frankfurter song that I'm about to play, because you wonder how it escaped the censors in 1950, or Lawrence Welk, of God forbid, who didn't even want them to show the girls pregnant, when they were having babies, and as 20-year-olds would do, or 24-year-olds would do back then. So at any rate, this is This is, listen to the words of this, West End Jazz Band. It's a great song from 1927. Harry Lentz and his orchestra played this long ago. It's called Frankfurter Sandwiches. My girl wants Frankfurter sandwiches. Listen to this.
Since the world began, the girl expects the man to bring her tokens of his love. Some bring bags of gold their ladies love to hold, and jewels bright as the stars above. But my sweetheart's ideals are so much higher, so much higher. So here's how I fulfill her heart's desires. Every night I bring her Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. How my baby loves those Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. I tried to win her with flowers, flowers, all kinds of sweetness, till I found out my baby's weakness. Every night she whispers, thanks for the sandwiches, thanks for the sandwiches. But I feel there's something wrong. Instead of her billing and cooing, all she keeps doing is chewing Frankfurter sandwiches, all night long. Frankfurter sandwiches. How my baby loves those Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. I tried to win her with candy, ice cream and custard. But how she likes hot dogs with mustard. Every night she whispers, thanks for the sandwiches, thanks for the sandwiches. But I fear there's something wrong. Each time I start popping the question, she's too busy digesting Frankfurter sandwiches, all night long. Even though it was Yom Kippur, quietly I had to slip her Frankfurter sandwiches, all night long.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Yeah, my girlfriend
Hey, Bob.
is so busy digesting my Frankfurter sandwiches.
All I got to say is about that is this.
Oh my Bob, she loves it!
What do you think, Doc?
Well, I think I'm assuming it was a jingle for the Frankfurt brand. I mean, I don't know. There
Oh,
could
no,
be
that's-
a connotation there, but we said we weren't going to go down that road, right?
That's about as much innuendo as an Aerosmith song.
Yeah.
But you've got to watch Peggy Lennon, the Lennon sisters of all people, doing this, and it gets lots of views because it's so campy. You got to see. Put in Peggy Lennon Frankfurter sandwiches, and you'll see this, and you'll have a laugh. It's just like, what was Lawrence Welk thinking? At any rate. It's like that song that they did on Lawrence Welk years ago, One Toke Over the Line. Sweet Jesus, One Toke Over the Line.
That was a hit.
It was. But you know that Lawrence Welk had
no idea what it
these
meant.
pure, innocent singers singing One Toke Over the Line just because it had Sweet Jesus in it. I don't think he didn't know what a toke was. Apparently,
Apparently not, no.
I don't know. Hey, Doc, there's a microscopic rainforest you said in my mouth.
Yes,
By design.
by design.
Yep.
Really?
Got to remember that
Yeah.
there's always a balance between good and bad. So our mouths are filled with bad bacteria, and they're filled with good bacteria.
The digestion
Not all
process.
bacteria is bad.
Digestion process starts in your mouth
Correct.
with saliva.
So sometimes when patients are using a lot of different products to reduce their bad breath
Right.
or to help their mouth get healthy, many times those products don't distinguish between good or bad bacteria.
Oh,
And in essence, once that balance gets out of sync, you're certainly more predisposed to dental disease, whether it's tooth decay, whether it's gum disease, a combination of both. That healthy bacteria keeps that bad bacteria in check. And many of the products that we're using today don't discriminate. They just simply get rid of bacteria.
so
And
sort
in
of like
process-
Listerine? Would Listerine be one of those, or how do
Well,
you?
Yeah, 'cause
the
they're all
reason
broad spectrum.
Listerine is because it has a high content of alcohol.
Yep.
Right.
Now, Listerine also has a non-alcoholic rinse, but when you're putting alcohol in there, it is destroying the microflora, the good bacteria that really we need to keep our mouths healthy, and as Pete mentioned, to start the digestive process.
Bob, it's no different than when you get take heavy duty antibiotics for something.
Exactly.
They tell you like the last couple of days you're taking the antibiotic. Usually you get prescribed nowadays. They never did this before, but you're taking a prebiotic and a probiotic to restart your gut health.
I had no idea about this. No,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go on your antibiotics for an extended length of time,
Right.
generally you're going to have some minor to severe gastrointestinal issues.
Right.
Because that microflora has been disrupted and the good bacteria has been destroyed, and that's what keeps you healthy. So many times people think of a bacteria is bad, but there's good bacteria. Okay.
Right,
And
right.
constant balance is going to provide you with the most homeostasis, the most balance, the best balance, and the most healthy situation, whether that's in your oral cavity, in your intestines,
Right.
even on your skin. Sometimes we're using so many disinfectants to keep ourselves clean. You're also destroying the good bacteria that's on your skin. And that leaves you more susceptible to other potential problems.
So, should there be a warning on a label? Like, for instance, what's the kind of mouthwash I have? It's 24-hour good breath mouthwash. What is it? It begins with a T.
Smart Breath,
Not smart breath. It begins with
aerosol.
it's Dr. Zismore or somebody. Doctor.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's doctor something. He and it's in a blue or green bottle or whatever. It has an orange cap to it. Oh God, I don't know. But at any rate, it is a 24-hour. It keeps your breath fresh for 24 hours, and you have to take it maybe twice a day or whatever. Once, or it's got to be. You take it every night, and it helps to keep your breath fresh. However, and it's got xylitol in it. I know that much.
Xylitol is a sugar substitute.
TheraBreath. That's what it's got. TheraBreath.
Okay.
Xylitol is a sugar substitute, though. That's all the xylitol is.
Yeah.
And it probably also has zinc in it because we know that zinc not only is bactericidal and bacteriostatic,
Right.
it also, unfortunately will disrupt the good oral flora. I mean, it's like everything in life. It's a balance. You do something too much, usually something else takes the brunt of it.
Well, yes, but Doc.
But getting
I
to your
wanna be-
question, a warning label,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily how the FDA regulates. They're regulating on the percentage of products so that supposedly you're trying to do no harm. But this concept of good and bad being in balance, I think you're going to start hearing and seeing a lot more of it when it comes to dental health. We're so ingrained to remove the plaque, to remove the bacteria, to remove the calculus.
Right.
But depending on how you're doing it and with what products, you put your oral cavity out of balance because you've destroyed many of the good bacteria and you make your mouth susceptible, as I think Peter alluded to. One of the most common is a fungal infection called thrush.
Oh, gosh, I remember this, yes.
Yes.
So what do you recommend then for folks who want to have a sparkling breath because they have a great social life and you want to always be pleasant to people, present well? God knows, back then in the day, do you ever think about this? This is me in action. I'm thinking, maybe I had bad breath back then, and so I had dumb luck with finding a mate or whatever. And I'm thinking, did I? It sort of ran in my family for years. No one taught me to scrape my tongue when I was young or that kind of stuff. And I just wondered, holy mother, was I offensive without knowing?
I think most of us are without knowing.
Yeah.
Whether it's body odor or any odor. I mean, human beings, like most biological creatures, have pheromones. These are hormones that have an odor, and you're attracted to these, just like a dog or a cat or any animal.
Yeah.
And by scrubbing us clean and putting deodorant on and all these other products,
right,
you have to understand that there's a good sign. But to get to your question about, from a dental health matter, the friction of scraping the tongue, the inside of the cheeks, dental floss, or a toothbrush, all of those are going to scrub away the bacteria in the plaque. And to answer your question,
good or bad bacteria there, Doc? What is the toothbrush getting rid of?
The bad bacteria can counteract the good bacteria, but if you're just using simple, good, basic hygiene, like scraping the tongue, the inside of the cheeks, using dental floss, and a toothbrush with not too much toothpaste or too strong a toothpaste, I think you're going to keep your mouth healthy. And then you've got to balance that with your diet. If you're going to be smoking cigars and smoking cigarettes, marijuana, coffee, garlic, onions, then you're going to have a halitosis or a bad breath. So it's a combination of the friction and watching what you're ingesting. And these are dental issues. Obviously, there are men and women out there that have peptic ulcers. They have gastric GERD,
right,
gastric esophageal reflux.
Right.
Those are different. They're going to cause a halitosis, and they're more of a medical nature because of the disruption of their stomach and their GI system. But the basic answer is keep it simple, whether it's a water pick, whether it's dental floss. Friction right now is the most inexpensive and easiest way to eliminate the bacteria on your teeth, and you don't need a lot of other products.
Yeah.
The problem is, in the real world,
right,
this material, this plaque that can be removed with friction, generally within 24 to 48 hours calcifies and becomes calculus. And now you can use as much pushing as you want. Probably a dental hygienist or dentist is going to physically have to remove that calculus, that calcified material that accumulates on our teeth.
So plaque turns into calculus.
Correct.
I was never good at calculus.
Yes, most of us.
I don't even think I got there, to tell you the truth. No. But I wonder. So that it means that it is important because most of the time, I bet, would you say everyone in the world is walking around with calculus in their mouth that needs to be cleaned every now and then?
Yes. I would say, I can tell you after 41 years of practicing dentistry,
Right.
On occasion, we see patients that are so immaculate that we really don't see any calculus in their mouth at all.
Wow.
But unfortunately, they're so immaculate, they're causing other damage called abfractions. They're just wearing away their teeth because they're scrubbing so hard, so long, and so many times a day, although their teeth are immaculately clean,
Right.
they're significantly worn. Because whether it's a toothbrush, dental floss, whatever you're using, any friction against any type of surface will cause a breakdown over time. So we've got people that brush their teeth 8, 10, 15 times a day. And those individuals, although they don't have periodontal or gum disease,
Right.
they have tooth problems because they're wearing the hell out of their teeth.
So, what's the answer?
Balance.
Yes,
Like
but
everything in
balance.
life.
Okay.
It's the balance.
All right. So I'm a snacker. I snack for. No, I'm not. But I'm playing a snacker right here on the radio. I'm a snacker, and I'm going to have something to eat every 2 hours. A little this, a little of that. I really don't eat a lot. Are you recommending that I brush my teeth after every time I have food? And what do you do in that situation? And how many times a day should I be brushing my teeth? Because right now, as a snacker, I'm brushing my teeth 6 times a day because I have
If
cookies
you're not
and
brushing your teeth because of snacking, I recommend half a glass of water, 4 to 8 ounces of water, and just rinse your mouth. Because when you're snacking that frequently,
Right.
the material doesn't have a chance to form plaque or calculus. So if you just rinsed your mouth out or you drank half a cup or a cup of water,
Right.
you'd be lubricating the teeth and you'd be getting rid of what we call the gross food debris.
Right.
In other words, depending on what you're eating, let's say they're nuts, there's peanuts, different things, that's gross debris. Okay, it's particles of food which can be removed by just rinsing your mouth or gargling or just drinking. So it wouldn't be practical for you if you're snacking 4, 5, 6 times a day to be brushing your teeth 4, 5, or 6 times a day.
Right.
So
What do you
simple
think
step-
is a good amount of time? How many times a day should you be brushing? Just 2 or 3? Maybe.
I think 2 is adequate, but again, it's going to depend on what you're digesting for food. If you're having sticky, gooey food,
Right.
and you're having high sugar food, then I would suggest you might want to brush a little more frequently. If you've got a good diet with a good roughage, a lot of salads, then I think twice a day is going to be more than adequate for you.
Yeah.
And it's not brushing, it's how long do you brush for and how well do you brush. In other words, you see people that go to a health club and exercise,
Yeah.
but when I observe them for the 30 or 40 minutes that they're there, most of the time they're walking around, they're
Right.
not really exercising.
Yeah.
So it's the duration, the frequency, and the correctness of what they're doing.
Right.
In other words, I can walk a quarter of a mile at a brisk pace
Right.
and burn some significant calories. And somebody who does like a jog walk and doesn't even break a sweat probably isn't really burning any calories. They're more doing it for mental comfort and mental
Right.
relaxation.
Sure, to convince himself. Well, Doc, then I wanted to clarify something that you said or enlarge on it. The idea of the right size of amount, so the right amount of toothpaste. Because sometimes I think, oh my God, I don't have enough. It's like a little pearl. And then other times I press too hard, and then I've got this huge mother of a Colgate on my brush, and I'm brushing or whatever. So you said that it's not good to have too much. Again,
No.
what is correct? And
Generally, for children, they'll tell you the size of a pea. So for children under the age of 10, the size of a pea, because typically young children will swallow that, and there is fluoride, and fluoride can have detrimental effects if ingested in high quantities. So for an adult, I would say so long as it's a dime or smaller, the size of a dime or smaller,
right.
that would be an adequate amount of material to do the job.
Gotcha. My other question is morning brushing. I'm always amazed that James can get up and go for an hour or two in the morning without brushing his teeth before he goes on his daily routine or whatever. I cannot stand the idea of not brushing within minutes of getting up. For some reason, maybe because I feel like I've got those mittens on my teeth. You know, those mittens that we all get?
Yes.
Yeah. What is
Well,
it first? What is that?
And James is incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you probably aren't going to change him after this many years, but in my opinion, the best thing you can do is when you wake up, before you have breakfast, a tea or a coffee,
right,
you should brush your teeth.
And what is causing my mittens? This little kitten is what? Really?
That furry substance, that mitten feeling, is bacteria developing on your teeth and gums and tongue and cheek. And that's because there's been no movement. You haven't ingested any food. Usually most people are a partial mouth breather, so
right,
their mouth gets dry and the saliva is not coating their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the saliva that will also help break down the bacteria, the bad bacteria,
right,
and prevent plaque and calculus from forming. But at nighttime, you're usually breathing through your mouth. Your mouth is dry for 6, 8, 9 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you're doing the right thing by good oral hygiene first thing in the morning. And James, unfortunately, is probably going to lose all his teeth.
Oh, God. The irony is that he hardly ever has a cavity.
It's always the way.
Some people have wonderful teeth.
Holy mother God. I brush, I floss, and somehow or other, I'm still seeing Dr. Ali and loving seeing him, but at the same time going, ugh. And I have my teeth cleaned because I've got I had gingivitis or whatever. I have my teeth cleaned and paid for by my insurance company every 3 months because it's essential to keep my teeth healthy. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Maybe not that interesting, but
it's interesting to me.
Yeah.
And Pete, I'm sure it's interesting to you.
Are you both interested?
Bob's
sure.
Personal oral hygiene is very important to both of us.
Please, God, you're with me.
Well, when he drinks those sugary coffee drinks he brings in, who knows?
And that's the other thing, okay, so you say brush my teeth the beginning of the day when I get out of bed, and then I'm going to have breakfast. Do I brush after breakfast to start my day?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay.
If you could do that, that would be terrific.
And then wait until nighttime.
Last thing you do before you go to bed,
yeah,
after you're done having maybe a coffee, a tea, a wine, whatever, then brush it again.
All right, flossing first or brushing first?
Flossing first.
You floss first.
It breaks up all the junk, and then the brushing whisks it away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We have beat up oral hygiene significantly on today's show.
So, hey, listen, somebody's out here paying attention, and it's probably me.
Oh, my God, yes. Oh, God, I'm thinking this, it's again, I say it every time you're on. I say, how much can you talk dentistry? I mean, we've had, oh, my God, you've been on for maybe 7 years. We've done,
yes.
right? Yeah. 7 shows, at least almost 100 shows probably. And yes. We have yet to not have a subject that is new and exciting, I must say, for me.
Well, thank you.
As a mouth
the
user.
Is what I'm saying actually accurate and correct? Okay?
Oh, that's true.
But We've got to assume it is.
Yes.
Right, Pete?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, are you able? When are you going? When do you have to go?
I have to go really like 5 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh!
I want to thank you and Pete again for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it. Ascent Dental Care appreciates it.
How do you spell Ascent Dental Care, Doc?
And Ascent Laser Aesthetics. We
Yeah.
all appreciate it.
How do you spell Ascent?
I can't tell you, but it's ASCENT.
Ascent Dental Care and
After
Ascent.
41 years, we're still learning. We're still trying to do better. And slowly but surely, I think we're accomplishing.
Oh, you are. And I want you to know that I told you that I was going to send you my sponsorship level sheet, and I will do that by the end of the day because my Pumpkin Fest and Creative Arts Center folks are saying, we need the sponsorship of that wonderful doctor you have on TV. And I said, oh, well, I'll talk to him on that one. He's a good man.
Happy to help in any way I can.
And the other thing is, one of our city councilors, Brent Bean, is wanting to connect with you. Get this. I get a text early this morning saying, Bob, I'd love to be reintroduced. Now, I don't know whether he has a cavity or daughter that needs help or whatever, but he said, I need to be reintroduced to Dr. Kevin Coughlin. And I said, he was coming to see us both at 6 a.m. this morning. And, and I said, oh, no. So at any rate, I'll connect you in another way, and I'll connect anybody with you because you are the greatest, Doc. And
well, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, and I wish you all the best. We will see you next month. I hope, God willing, and let's see what I'm going to play. Oh, do you line dance?
No.
Okay. You want to line?
I wouldn't mind learning.
Oh, okay. So this is going to teach you a little bit. If you listen to Brooks and Dunn, today is National Line Dance Week. I think it is this week. So here's the Scootin' Boogie by Brooks and Dunn. And thank you, Doc. Bye.
Thank you.
I'll see everybody on the break.
Out in the country past the city limit sign where there's a honky-tonk near the county line. The joint starts jumping every night when the sun goes down. They got whiskey, women, music and smoke. It's where all the cowboy folk go to boot scoot boogie. I got a good job, I work hard for my money. When it's quitting time, I hit the door running. I fire up my pickup truck and let the horses run. I go flying down that highway to that hideaway, stuck out in the woods to do the boot scoot boogie. Yeah, heel toe, do-si-do, come on baby, let's go boot scoot. Whoa, Cadillac, blackjack, baby, meet me out back, we're gonna boogie. Oh, get down, turn around, go to town, boot scoot boogie. The bartender asked me, say, son, what'll it be? I want a shot of that redhead yonder looking at me. The dance floor's hopping and it's hotter than the 4th of July. I see outlaws, in-laws, crooks and straights, all out making it shake, doing the boot scoot boogie. Yeah, heel toe, do-si-do, come on baby, let's go boot scoot. Oh, Cadillac, blackjack, baby, meet me out back, we're gonna boogie. Get down.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow.
Now you're looking straight ahead, Bob.
Oh, I'm here. Okay.
Because we're not looking at the monitor anymore. Well,
I don't have
you
to
don't
look.
have to.
Oh, no, I don't want to look at the monitor. God help me.
Now it's just you and I.
No, it's just...
I could bring Mr. S in and we could talk politics.
Mr. S.
Mr. Seklecki.
Yeah, no, right for the moment. Let's.
Hey,
yes.
I posted something that I didn't think would be controversial, but apparently it is.
Oh, pen. Oh,
it was one sentence.
Yeah, what is it?
I put, here's the thing, ellipses, so three period marks.
Yeah.
I vote for policies, not personalities.
This feeds right into one of the things I wanted to discuss.
Okay. I didn't think that would be controversial, but I got attacked right off the bat.
Let's vote for policies, not personalities.
Correct.
Okay.
I vote for policies. Show me what you got.
Okay.
Don't tell me what you're going to do. Don't hit me with a smiley face.
So tonight, everyone, if you're listening to this after Tuesday, if you're listening on the archive, which is at YouTube, you put in Westfield Community TV, you can put in Wow It's Tuesday, Bob Plass, or Wow It's Tuesday.
Find all these wonderful shows,
and you can find all of our shows. Well, if you're listening afterward, we're of course in a really close election season, and
yeah, it's become more than election day over the past decade.
Oh my God!
It was early voting that was supposed to start in September.
Yeah,
3 months before election day. What?
Or
2 months, two full months before election day.
With many people not knowing who the candidates are one way or another. I mean, from J.D. Vance.
One of them, it's built into the cake. You know who he is.
One of them you do know, and
the other three you don't.
No, you don't. And so
unless you're a political junkie.
Yeah, and of course the problem with us political junkies like you and I, Peter, is that we know it, or we do our homework in one way or another, and then we make our decisions, and we go from there. But the average bear, I'm finding out, I cannot understand when I hear, well, so and so. Well, let's name names. Kamala Harris. Who is she? According to some folks, they don't know who she is after being around for 4 years. And
she has a record. She has a record even further back than that because she was a senator for several years.
And she was the Attorney General of California.
I mean, I'm not even taking that into account. I'm talking about the federal level.
Yeah, or
there's
Trump
even. There's enough of a track record for both mainline candidates.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance has a bit of a track record in the Senate. And the governor has a track record as a governor. So as a congressman before that.
And a congressman before that.
So they all have records, and if you look at their records, they really, no matter what they say, right?
Yeah.
They don't really change all that much about what they do.
Do you think that election time that folks really are just trying to win people over?
Bernie Sanders come out and dead said it on Meet the Press.
Yeah, that they're trying to have people like them as people first, and to hell with the discussion of how we're going to do this.
So you always want people to like you. That's human nature.
Oh,
right?
you got it. Yeah,
you can't get beyond that, right?
No, you got to be decent. That's a problem here in this election for some people.
But you also have to be a leader. Sometimes being a leader isn't going to be your friend either.
No, but you also have to recognize a leader is somebody to look up to, and a leader is somebody who models the kind of world that we want to live in. That's all I feel about a leader. And oftentimes that is more connected with policy and or character than it is. No, let me rephrase that.
Policy
it's more
and character,
connected,
two different things.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's more connected with character than policy.
See, I can deal with a bad character if the policy is good, because there's enough circuit breakers in our system of government in the United States. There's enough circuit breakers to say, okay, because there's been a lot of bad people who have been president of the United States, Bob, but they've gotten things done.
Yeah, but in a world where we are now, when we see and we hear, and this is the difficulty here for me this time, is I really, in the debate, for instance, I want Kamala to put out policy. I want her to talk policy, and I also want.
But she's not.
I know. Well, no, and I also want Mr. Trump, God help him, if he can, to really tell us not the old lines, none of that. To really be able to show that he understands policy, that he understands the workings of government, and not to.
I think he does better than you think.
Well,
he didn't the first time.
Yeah, I don't.
And he got railroaded.
I don't know whether he does or not, Peter. And I guess that's
he does.
Well, okay.
See, the thing is here's the thing. And it's because of the narrative that you're being fed, is that you believe that he doesn't know what he's doing, that he's a buffoon. And the narrative that's being fed, and then so there's two narratives out there, right?
Yeah.
And then in the middle is the truth.
Yes.
So the narrative that you're being fed is he's the orange buffoon, and he's not. He's actually, the world is a more barbaric place than we want to admit as a society in the United States. Because if you look around and keep your eyes open, it's funny because my son, after serving 2 tours, in one in the Middle East and one in Kosovo,
right,
his eyes were open, and he was more progressive when he was younger.
Right.
Then he went and served in other countries and became embedded with cultures and saw the world a little bit. And he came back with a completely different perspective. Now he's not like a right winger. He's in the center, but he has a perspective that I agree with him.
Right.
and he's looking around and going, the world is not a safe place.
Yes.
It's not.
I know.
It's not. And a lot of people live in this world under a constant threat of either personal violence, cultural violence,
right,
or racial violence.
Yeah. Good.
And in this country, we don't have those issues to the extent.
Oh, my God.
There are minor issues that we have in this country.
Peter.
We do not, Bob. We do not. We wake up every morning, the power is on. The government is not going to walk in your door, beat the snot out of you, and drag you out to the gulag.
A child cannot go to school in America without being fearful today.
That's because of the narrative that they're being fed.
Well, the narrative is based.
That's because the narrative they're being fed.
Well, how do we know that it's a feeding narrative? How do you know that?
Because I watched the news.
No.
I was part of the news, Bob.
I know that.
And
I watch the news on both sides. However, the reality on the ground is I know that I, as a parent, if I were a parent, I, as a human being who loves children, do not want my kids to walk into a school and be fearful, or if I am of a different race or color, to think that we're in a world in America right now, if we compare it, where we have a very free and open system, supposedly, yet we are not wanting to teach the truth about our history. We don't want to face the fact about our racial differences. We are, and this is not. I'm not talking candidates here. I'm just talking about the reality on the ground that these candidates are coming to.
Well, hold on. When you segregate people by, so here's the thing. When you segregate everybody by their racial, their things, traits that cannot be changed, right? So race, creed.
Why would I want to change my traits?
You don't. That's the thing. You can't change those things about you, right? So I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm male and I'm Catholic. Those are the Catholic you can change, but the other two are immutable traits, right?
Right.
If you categorize me by just those traits, you're being racist.
If I characterize you, if I tell the truth that as a
by
white...
definition, you're being racist.
Well...
Because you're categorizing me by race.
Okay.
If you categorize me as a male, you're being genderist because you're categorizing me by an immutable trait. This country was founded...
by white men.
Right, but it was also founded on meritocracy. And the black men that used to be...
Meritocracy,
absolutely.
Peter.
By the... Yes. Because guess what? The black men who were enslaved are now doing pretty well overall, except those being held down by the government.
I
They're
don't
being
think.
held down by the
No, I
government.
think that
Yes,
it's a
Paul.
culture that holds them down, and
No.
it's also a government that is
No, because
right now.
Because
at
wait a minute, hold on. Because
oh.
if the culture was holding them down, it would be
How
across the board.
holding-
Why are there successful people of all
Why
races?
are there successful people? Why is the poverty rate in America? Why are the statistics about black success so
Bob,
low?
people in this country who are in a poverty zone don't know true poverty. Because true poverty is Middle Africa. True poverty is the people in Gaza that were held down by a terrorist government. That's
get that.
true poverty. Bob.
I get
we
that.
don't know true
but
poverty.
there is a Jim Crow. There is a new Jim Crow philosophy right now afoot in America, and it's about
Show
time
me
that
examples.
Oh my God! Look,
Cite
all you have to
examples,
do look
because
at,
they talked
all
about
you-
Georgia being Jim Crow. More black people voted in Georgia in the last two elections than any time in history.
Oh my God! And what are they doing now to keep black people from not voting?
What? Tell
to
me
keep
what?
them from voting. Oh,
Under the new election laws that were supposedly Jim Crow, more black people voted. Bob, is showing an ID really?
I don't-
Is showing an ID really Jim Crow? You have to show an ID to get on an airplane. You have to show an ID to cash a check at a bank.
Okay, I'm going to give you.
How is that? Wait a minute. Explain that. How is that Jim Crow? By having to show an ID to vote, showing who you are. How is that?
Oftentimes, because an ID is very difficult for
That's
folks
crap.
to get.
That's crap because they're giving them to illegals all over this country.
And
That's
the word,
crap.
Okay, well, I don't want to use the word illegal.
You
either.
can because they've entered this country illegally. When you stop defining things for what they are, then that becomes an even bigger problem.
When we begin to look at the world as humans, period, and that's the difficulty.
Okay, so Bob, if you want to stop defining them as illegals, take them into your own home and house them. You won't.
Look, I think that the world. Well, that's a whole another whole issue here. But let's get back first to what we're looking for in the debate. We're looking for decency. We're looking for truth. We're looking for.
I'm looking
policy,
for one word.
Policy.
Two things. Policies and authenticity.
Okay, gotcha. And
I'm
are you going to be unfiltered when you start to look at that?
Absolutely.
debate? Okay, I'll do the same thing.
Because to be authentic,
Right.
for Trump, you know who he is. It's baked into the cake. He hasn't changed in 10 years. He really hasn't.
And then why does
On
he
the other
deserve?
side-
So why does he deserve to be president? Why
policies are better.
Why can't we have a middle of the road? Why
Do you
can't
think
we,
Kamala's a middle of the road? Are you kidding? Her record is left to Bernie Sanders.
Wait a minute. Do you think of all of the Republicans, all of them from Dick Cheney right now, who are saying that this man has no right or to continue to be president as a felon, as a misogynist, as an old
Bob,
man, very similar to Biden.
No, he's not.
Yeah, please, God help me.
No,
Listen
he's
to
not. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop right there.
Yeah.
That's the narrative you're being fed.
The narrative.
What do you see with your own eyes?
Yeah. Okay.
That's far different than the narrative you're being fed.
So the idea here is that we create this concept called, quote unquote, the narrative that we're being fed.
Bob, what do you see with your own eyes?
I see with my own, oh my God, what I see with my
You're
own
saying
eyes
he's
is
got-
a
you're saying-
misogynist, indecent felon who doesn't really care for anyone but himself.
So a felony, right? The felonies he was charged with and convicted of, right, are based upon federal law, are based upon federal charges that the New York State had to go into pretzels just to charge him with, based on a political activist DA.
Well,
right?
wait
and
a-
wait, let me hear me out. Based upon a political activist DA who ran on the notion, along with the Attorney General of New York, we're going to get that guy. So that now brings you into Soviet-style tactics. Now, I can show you a series of what the Soviet Union did. Communism is based upon we have a target, and now we're going to find charges to fit that target, to convict that target and put them in jail.
Let's
Wait a minute,
say,
wait a minute,
wait a minute. Let me. Okay, so you have a few minutes.
I'm
Let me
just
say.
getting started.
Yeah,
all those felony charges are going to be overturned because the judge keeps putting off the sentencing.
and they're going to be overturned because if Trump gets elected, he can do
He
anything
cannot.
that
It's
he
a
would.
state court. He cannot pardon himself.
Okay,
He can't even pardon himself because it's a state charge.
With the Supreme Court as it is now.
He cannot pardon himself, and the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the Constitution more than the than the Republican Party. No matter what you've been told.
Let's talk of a man who was accused of raping a woman. Has been proven.
The woman can't remember the details of the rape.
Oh my God! And did you hear him?
Did you read the courts?
Did you hear him the other day that he says this, quote unquote, and I watched it. He says that she and I want everyone to know basically that's he's saying something like that she would not be the chosen one. The chosen one. The chosen one.
Talking about who?
He's talking about the woman that accused him of her name is Leeds, and she accused him of.
She cannot remember the date, time, and barely remembers the location.
But let's listen to the verbiage.
She
verbiage.
filed the charges over almost 2 decades later.
Okay, but we've got 27 other people that have accused him of this.
And those cases were all dismissed, thrown out.
Well, they came
by
back.
Liberal judges.
He lost in a trial.
In a civil trial.
He lost in a civil trial. He lost in a trial, Peter. He lost in a trial.
Yeah, with the threshold of evidence in a civil trial is 1/3 of what it is in a criminal trial.
Listen.
Because most civil trials are about one thing. It's not about the actual facts of the case.
Do you think that
Trump... It's about the payoff at the end.
No, wait a minute. Do you think that Trump is a decent man? Yes or no?
No.
That's all I want to know. Okay.
No. But you know what?
What?
Guess what? His policies are still better than what I'm getting from the other side.
Are you? I'm worried as a gay man to what is going to happen to us in America. I'm worried as a.
Bob, what happened to you?
I'm worried as a person.
What happened to you from 2016 to 2020? Because Oldenfeld, which held up gay marriage, was held up.
They're going to change it.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Because it's the same court makeup that it was then.
It's going
to
change.
And the Supreme Court justice.
Have you read 2025?
The senior justice of the Supreme Court has said that ruling is going to hold.
I worry, and I'm not the only one.
Project 2025 is a think tank wish list. Just the same thing as the progressives put out their wish list. I subscribe to Our Revolution, and their wish list is far crazier than Project 2025.
Well, crazy.
Do you subscribe? Wait a minute. Have you read position papers from Our Revolution?
No.
Which is the Bernie Sanders think tank group?
No.
You should.
No.
Because that just see where your party's really going. Our Revolution is not just some fringe thing. They have a lot of traction.
Well, don't you think that there may be? Would you agree that if there are centrist Republicans and centrist Democrats compromising and coming up
They're not.
and laying bare the field. And how do we do that? We do it by not going back. We do it by working from and do you is
all I've seen, Bob, in the past 4 years
is just to answer this question.
Okay.
Is Kamala Harris a decent woman?
No, she's not either.
Oh, believe me.
She's not.
Is Tim Walz a decent man?
No, he's not.
Is J.D. Vance a decent man?
He might be the only one.
Holy mother of God. Okay. Well, we've come to another point.
But he
here.
might, listen.
So we're going to look.
Here's the reason why, and let me give you the receipts now. Kamala's not a decent person because she's a politically motivated animal that will tell you anything and say anything to get elected. I think that's inherently wrong.
Okay, let's. I don't
and on
agree.
a moral level,
I don't
on a moral level, Bob, on a moral level.
Yes.
Okay, when she was first starting her career right out of college,
right,
was in a part of an adulterous relationship with the Speaker of the House of California, and then was featured prominently with him, and it was well acknowledged, even in the press, that they were dating while he was running for mayor. And the only reason a stop was put to that is because he was scared of his wife, who was, listen to this, not a Wiccan princess. What's the Creole down south? She had the
voodoo princess.
Voodoo, yeah, she had voodoo. That was her background, and she said that she would kill them both. No, that was also documented in the newspaper.
Well, so
she would kill them both.
Right, okay, you're talking years and years ago. Number one,
okay.
But what I'm saying is this: that you
but
cannot.
do you consider that wrong?
No,
you don't consider it wrong. She was in an adulterous relationship.
Listen, who was having sex with?
That's a what if. Wait a minute. That's
with Mr. Trump.
No what ifs, Bob. I was told by several people. No what ifs. Answer the question. Is being in an adulterous relationship wrong?
No.
Then you automatically exempt Trump for the same charge.
Yes. However, he was raping women. That's a different charge.
That's not proven by criminal law.
Oh, okay.
Because he would have been proven.
He was proven. He was convicted.
Case,
he was convicted.
You know what civil case means? Most likely occurred. That is not proof of the actual event.
Well,
because
then
she
you're
can't even remember it.
Oh, for God's sake! So how many years ago? And she was 18 years old.
No, she wasn't. She was a lot older. She was in her 40s or 50s.
Oh, God, she's not. No, not 20 years ago, my friend. No. My problem here is
for next time we get together, I'm going to read up on that case because I know a fair about it now. No, you brought it up, so I'm going to read and get the receipts on it. I bring facts. I don't bring conjecture, and I don't bring narrative.
You're accusing me of being conjecture and facts and not facts.
Yes. Because you're saying he was convicted of something. He was convicted of a civil charge.
Just answer the question.
That is not a criminal charge.
When you're convicted, what does the word convicted mean?
Convicted of a civil charge means you pay money.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily.
And why?
It doesn't mean you committed a crime.
Why do you?
But that's not a crime. A civil case is not a crime.
A civil case is not a crime.
No.
You tell that to people who are convicted in civil cases.
They don't go to jail for it. In a civil case, you do not go to jail for it.
You don't go to jail oftentimes when you defraud people.
Right.
When you plead guilty, you don't go to jail sometimes.
But those are criminal cases for fraud.
There are all those. And this man's record is so different than and look,
it's great that we're illustrating the narratives because you're giving me the talking points on the side against Trump. Everybody that's anti-Trump. These are the talking
everybody
points.
That's anti-Trump.
But they're only talking
everybody
points.
that's pro-democracy.
I'm anti-Kamala because she was
and her name is not Kamala. Kamala. Say the right way.
Kamala. So as a DA, right? She increased her prosecution numbers she increased her conviction numbers by decreasing the total number of prosecutions. That's how she got her numbers up. Her percentage of prosecutions that she won, she didn't prosecute crimes at all. The number of prosecution cases dropped while she was the DA in San Francisco.
I do not.
To increase their numbers.
Okay, all right.
That's a fact.
Okay, all righty.
That is a
so
fact.
We have a
the same thing happened. The same thing happened when she was Attorney General.
I can't.
That's also a fact.
I can't not. I'm not going to have a discussion until I know my facts as well. Number
those
one.
are facts. I researched them.
Well, just because you researched them, where are you researching them, Peter?
The internet.
We've got so many. How many chiefs of staff? How many of Mr. Trump's staff have gone and said, "I am not voting for that man. He is dangerous"? How many?
Because those are swamps, Bob. What you don't understand is the government is not run by the elected politicians. It hasn't been for quite some time. It's run by the bureaucracy.
I don't know.
Who's running the government right now?
Look.
Who's running the government right now? Our president's been on vacation for a month. Who's actually running the government?
You don't know what's happening there. You are listening.
It's run by the staff. Now listen to this.
No, I'm not going to.
It was also run by the staff under the last 2 years of Ronald Reagan, because he was also suffering from dementia.
I hear you.
From us.
I hear you.
So the staff.
I hear you. And if we have a man who, when asked a question about childcare, goes on and even he is an old, diminished man, and he is as old as Biden. How old?
Bob, he goes for 90 minutes talking about everything.
He goes, but 90 minutes freestyle floating forever. And he has never yet to be clear around policy. He always...
That's crap.
I
listen to his policies and I understand very clear what he's doing.
Peter. No. Hold up.
Let's do policies.
No, we're not talking policy any longer. I got to put a stop to this.
Who came up with...
Pete.
Wait a minute. Just
Pete,
one thing.
No.
Who came up with no tax on tips?
So what? It's a good idea. So what? It's a good idea. Why not?
But who came up with it?
So
Answer
what?
The question.
So what?
That's a policy, Bob.
Okay, Trump.
That's
who came up with it?
That's a policy.
Yeah, but who can? But I can name you some policies that he will not do it because he does not ever want to think about anything but what is going to win him a vote within his base. He never goes beyond his base. He doesn't think beyond his base.
Yes, he does.
He does not.
Who spoke at the Libertarian Convention this year?
Oh, he spoke at who was booed at the Libertarian Convention.
But he still had the cojones to go talk to them and tell them the truth.
Okay, well, we have people going. Truth. Okay, people would go. He would go on.
Did the president of the Teamsters speak at the Democratic Convention? No.
The AFL-CIO has supported him. Supported her.
Right, but did the president?
No. Wait. Yeah, we're doing tit for tat, and I'm not going to do that. But look. Can we agree to disagree right now? Can we agree to disagree?
Hold on. Here's
no more holding on. It's my show. I want to play. Would you mind playing a song for me, Peter?
Sure.
Please. I first want to say I enjoy sparring with you. I hope that folks haven't turned it off. I hope they know the difficulty of people who are for one side and another side. And trying to come to a compromise is always so difficult. That's what makes America great.
The nice
when
thing
we spar it out.
We're still friends.
Well, yes, but could you ever conceive compromising with a middle-of-the-road Republican and a middle-of-the-road Democrat compromise?
We do it all the time, Bob. We agree on a lot of things.
We do.
We agree on a lot of things.
All right, okay. So let's try to not try to win here, but we're going to look for policies, and we'll talk about what we saw tonight.
It won't be next week because both of us are gone.
Yeah, we'll talk about it closer to the election. I always enjoy a sparring match, and I'm going to play because it's Jose.
Okay, now it's time to.
Yeah, I'm going to play Jose Feliciano, whose birthday is today. He's born in 1945, just like me, and his songs always reach the heart. This one I thought was really kind of interesting because he says, and it's about a love affair or something. He's leaving his town in Puerto
whatever
Rico.
will be?
No, it's about his leaving his town in Puerto Rico and maybe returning. But he's leaving and going away and for better things, and he's saying what will be will be.
Yeah.
What will be, and I have to leave with what will be, and it just goes to my heart. I love this song. It's Happy Birthday, Jose Feliciano. We'll return and we'll talk other things.
Pueblo mío, que estás en la colina, tendido como un viejo que se muere. La pena, el abandono son tu triste compañía. Pueblo mío, te dejo sin alegría. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será? Si sé mucho o no sé nada, ya mañana se verá. Y será lo que será. Ya mis amigos se fueron casi todos y los otros partirán después que yo. Lo siento porque amaba su agradable compañía, mas es mi vida, tengo que marchar. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será? En la noche mi guitarra dulcemente sonará y una niña de mi pueblo llorará. Amor mío, me llevo tu sonrisa, que fue la fuente de mi amor primero. Amor, te lo prometo como y cuando no lo sé, mas sé tan solo que regresaré. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será? En la noche mi guitarra dulcemente sonará y una niña de mi pueblo soñará. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será? En la noche mi guitarra dulcemente sonará y una niña de mi pueblo llorará. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será? En la noche mi guitarra dulcemente sonará y una niña de mi pueblo soñará. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mi vida? ¿Qué será?
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Support for Community Radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Artsbeat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday where you are September 10th, 2024. We are almost...
The Big E is right around the corner.
Oh, my God. When does that start?
Friday.
This Friday. Are you going to be there? No, you're going to be
I'm
away.
gone.
Oh, my gosh. This is one of those
I gotta
first
contact
years.
them. I got to contact them. We do want to do some shows over there, but what I asked for and what they gave me 5 passes. That gets me like one show.
Oh God, yeah.
But things are we're progressing on a couple of fronts. We're waiting on the FCC about the radio station license. We're in the running for that.
Wow.
And I also am working with purchasing upon a mobile.
You mean we're
production
going to
unit.
be a regular station? What does that? I don't understand why.
So the city, with the mayor's blessing, I applied for a low power FM license, radio station license.
Right.
So we would have 100 watt station, which is equivalent to what WSKB is now.
Right.
And then, but it would be a community radio station based out of this studio.
Oh, wow.
So our community radio would move, if we get the license, and it's still not guaranteed.
Sure.
But our community radio would move to the the new frequency, and we could still supply it to the college, or the students could take the radio station completely back. It's up to them.
Good.
But it would be better for us in the long run because if that's the case, I'd like to approach the local churches about running their services either on a live or taped basis.
Sure.
And then community members that wanted to host shows, I'm looking at an automation system where they could potentially do that kind of thing from home or here in the studio.
Holy Mother of God. How do you, so would we still have our 6 to 10? Do we still get?
Yes. Oh God, yes. This would be the cornerstone of that station.
I get it. Oh.
We would be the building blocks upon all that, but we would just move to a new location on, as they say, on your dial.
Oh my God!
And then the other thing we're working on is I've kind of talked to a few people about this, but I've always wanted, and I think this city should have a production truck.
Oh, interesting.
So like,
yeah.
Not something as big as like you see on the doing sports, like a 45-foot tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But more of a news van style, extended van, like you see with the 15 passenger vans out there,
right?
With a mast and a mast camera and the capability of operating as either a production truck for Channel 15,
yeah,
a remote truck for a future radio station, or in a pinch, it could be used as a command vehicle for like a big fire or an emergency management event or something like that.
Oh, that works.
So it'd be multi-purpose, and the money is there in the PEG fund to do that now. It would also be available to other communities if they needed to use it. It would be run by one of our, right now either me or Kenny, but eventually any of our staff.
Yeah.
And could be loaned out to say, West Springfield just had their 250th parade, and they struggled to cover that like we did for the 350.
Sure.
It would be available to stuff like that. And I know that even like Focus Springfield has to roll their stuff out in rolling racks, and we do too.
Right.
And my car is getting damaged because of that rolling rack being in it all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
For events. And it's really hard to set those things up.
So we're going to get a new car, maybe.
No, we're going to get a van.
A new van.
I'll show you a picture of it.
Oh, good. We'll take it on the road.
It's pretty cool. So we could like. My hope is for something like Auerbach, who loves to be on the road.
Right.
Your show, who occasionally likes to be on the road. For the Big E, we'd be over there every day.
Wild.
Doing the shows every day.
And
like,
you can
remember,
use
like
it,
it used
use
to
it
be.
you like a backdrop too. I mean, like you could I love the idea of driving
be
by
wrapped.
and see, yeah.
It
would be
wrapped.
Yeah.
It would be wrapped with the city logo.
Yeah.
With the Channel 15 logo.
Yeah.
And it would be wrapped that way.
It could have our pictures on it, Peter. We could be driving all over town.
No.
No. All right. Hey, I wanted to add, to tell you that WestfieldOnWeekends.com, you go to it and you can see all of the new classes that are happening. You can also see all of the events. We have bingo. We had bingo last night, and we have it on Monday nights. The first Monday, I think it's the first Monday of every month. If you go to
Is
Westfield
it an arts-based bingo or is it bingo?
It's bingo.
Okay.
Bingo. Listen, I'm wearing a bingo shirt here, practically here, under the bees, whatever. And we get a good turnout. So check it out if you like bingo. Number one. Number two, we have a whole group of people. I think we are now full up for our trip to Italy. They're going to the Amalfi Coast.
Awesome.
And we're going to Portugal in April in Portugal next year. So there'll be information about that coming up. We also just took down our Dog of Summer, the Dog Days of Summer exhibit, and in the
Did
next
all the
couple
winners
of
claim their prizes and everything?
they did. We had
Even the one you were looking for?
Jasper Jacks, and who was the other one that won?
I know it was one you announced that they were looking for the owner or something, and then you had to find
we
them?
found the owner.
Good. See, I do pay attention.
Yeah. And we have the last dog of summer is going to be voted on. Tonight is the final voting on
the
that.
Best in Show.
Yes, and we will we'll get. Well, no, we had a Best in Show. There's Jasper Jacks, and there is another dog, and I can't remember what the heck the dog's name. It's posted on Westfield on Weekends, incidentally, and they all get an illustration. We're going to do this next summer, so start thinking the Dog Days of Summer. We have now coming in. It's a journey stories, and it's called the Puerto Rican Experience, and it's got some incredible art, both directly from Puerto Rico, from the collection of Agma Sweeney.
This community has a very rich cultural Puerto Rican heritage.
Rich, and it's not a recent one. It's
it's well
many years,
entrenched,
20 years to 30
Oh,
years.
more than that.
Yeah. And we, the two artists, there's the guy's the pseudonym name. Well, he's got a name like he's
His
another
artist
name. What do you call them? When you have an also known
Professional
as
name.
A professional name is El Pecador, which means the sinner in Puerto Rican, okay,
Spanish,
or Spanish. What about
Spanish.
Spanish? For God's sakes! Oh my God! And George Ramirez is one of the wonderful professors at the art department at Westfield State, and so there's one wall of art of George Ramirez. There's another one of El Pecador, and then there's the other one directly from Puerto Rico. These are Puerto Rican artists. She has a collection of wonderful Puerto Rican art, and throughout the month we'll be celebrating Heritage Month with our Puerto Rican Association Committee and community, as well as the larger Hispanic Latino community. So we look forward to that. And we've got Dickens Days coming up, but we also, Pumpkin Fest is October 19th. I can't believe it's like 4.5 weeks away.
Are you praying to the gods for better weather?
Oh, my God, please, God, I don't know what I have to do. I'm not going to vote incorrectly at the next election in order to win, to get a good health day. But look, whatever, I will do anything but sell my soul for a good weather day.
Yeah, never
for
sell your
Pumpkin
soul.
Fest.
That's not a good thing.
Never. The Pumpkin Fest, we have a Madison Curbelo is going to be doing... Curbelo, is that how you say it?
Yes.
From The Voice is doing a concert, two sets at the beginning. It opens at 11 o'clock.
At the beginning of COVID, as part of our Studio 120 series, we had her in here just out of high school.
Oh, yeah.
When she was graduating.
Yeah.
Think about how long ago that was.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And now she's a professional recording artist.
Well, you remember when she was in I think she might have just been in junior high school, and she was a singer during one of the days that we did WSKB live at the picnic, the pancake breakfast, or something to do down there. Might have been the pancake breakfast.
It was the road. Was the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yeah, Chamber of Commerce stuff. Yeah, and she was there. So at any rate, she's now a grown woman, and she's going to be, I think, doing as well as singing, she's going to have costume contest as well. We've got a professional pumpkin carver, giant pumpkins. We've got Maggie the Clown balloon blowing. We've got...
Sounds like fun.
There are like 3 or 4 planes coming in to be part of the Toucher truck. We also have the wonderful trunk or treat that the Roots is doing for us, and the All-Star Dance Center, and we've got vendors and food. It's going to be a great day, so go online to see all about that. Free pumpkins also, incidentally, and it's sponsored by lots of wonderful people. And if you want to sponsor us in any way, please feel free to go to westfieldendweekends.com. Hey, let me play one more song, then we'll come back. I got some stuff to talk to you about the days of the we have to talk about biscuits and gravy. We got you know what?
We might not have time for that, Bob. We're only gonna have about 5 minutes coming back.
Are you kidding? No.
Didn't we start about 10 past?
Yeah, we started about 10 past. Okay.
All right, so you can go to quarter after.
All right, great.
We're talking in Monday time.
Monday. We're talking some other time. Hey, why don't we play? Let me just look at this. Okay. Let's do this song.
Are we going to do the Wisconsin song?
Let's do the Wisconsin
That's a good song.
I love that. What is it?
It is the five stair steps.
Oh, yes.
And the original version of Ooh, Child.
You know, this is a very interesting song when you think about it. Ooh, Child.
It's a good song.
It is a good, and it goes right along with John Mayer. John Mayer song I'm going to play at the end.
There you go.
All right. Okay. So we'll come back, and I've got some things to say about September 11th, which unfortunately is tomorrow.
Child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, when your head is much lighter. Things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Someday, put it together and we'll get it undone. Someday, someday, we'll walk in the rays of our beautiful sun. Someday, brighter.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Saturdays were made for polka. Tune in to the Polka Jammer Network starting at 6 a.m. and Polka Hall of Famer Billy Bellina, Breakfast at BB at 8:30.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday. It's September 10th, 2024. How did it get into September so fast? I don't know where it happened.
The summer went by fast.
Holy mother of God. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Peter, so yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? No, I think it was yesterday.
On the 9th.
Okay, I'm working at my computer and all day long, and I'm up in my room and I'm working on stuff. I'm writing some grants, of course, always writing grants. And I go downstairs and I go out to the porch, okay, the backside porch, and there is a box. Here it is. Look at this.
Upside down.
Oh, upside down. Twinkies. Now, first I thought, oh my God, somebody's calling James and I. This is a threat. And then I thought, they're not going to buy us Twinkies unless they're poison Twinkies, okay? It turns out that somebody has delivered...
All right, hold that right up to camera 4 here.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, my Lord.
Pumpkin spice Twinkies. Somebody. Well, I thought it was you. I thought
nope,
it
wasn't me.
I thought it was Kenny Stomsky, who is the pumpkin spice Twinkie bandit. And
it could be.
They delivered pumpkin spice. Now, I got to say, James scoffed up 2 of these within like 10 minutes, okay? I decided that I was bringing them in here.
Do we have to try these?
Yes, I want to
right.
try. So we're going to open this up.
I'm not a huge pumpkin spice fan because I'm not a pumpkin pie fan.
Well, are you a Twinkies fan?
I like Twinkies, but
did you know that
this could desecrate my memory of
there
Twinkies.
was once and this is a sad story, but Harvey Milk was killed by a guy named Dan White, who Dan White's defense of killing Harvey Milk, the great gay activist, was that he ate, it was the Twinkie defense, that he ate too many Twinkies.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that? Of hearing about the Twinkie defense.
Awful. All right, so take a bite.
I'm still not a fan of pumpkin spice.
What I am?
It's definitely pumpkin spice. You get that.
Is it?
Yeah.
It has a cloudy taste to it to me. I mean, you're
getting the cinnamon pumpkin spicy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You know,
Nutmeg.
what makes them so delicious? I mean, the cake itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all the super processed foods.
Oh my
Bobby
God.
Kennedy's got a point about the super
Only
processed.
Mother God, 31 grams of sugar.
About the super processed foods, Bobby Kennedy does have a point about that.
All right. Sugar, water, enriched flour, wheat flour, malted barley, etc., etc. And then it comes down, here we go. Thiamine, riboflavin, folic acid, high fructose corn syrup, tallow, dextrose, etc. And then you come down to sodium, glutamate.
You know what tallow is?
Natural, huh?
You know what tallow is?
No.
Beef fat.
Whoa.
It's probably what they fried in.
And it has so much stuff. It even has red dye in it. What's the red dye for?
For the filling.
Oh,
and probably for the cake, too.
Oh, yeah. It's that filling.
Okay, it's not terrible, but I'm still not a pumpkin spice person.
You know what?
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It isn't terrible.
I will not eat a second one.
I bought a pumpkin spice latte at our great Dunkin' Donuts here in town.
Yep. Did you see, by the way, Manny Sardina and the mayor and a whole bunch of other people did the Ride to Remember this weekend?
No, they're so great. Yeah.
They were all involved in that. They saw the
my
pictures
God.
for that.
So, I had
As you're munching on your...
You know, I had the pumpkin spice at Dunkin' Donuts, the latte. I brought it for James. I'm not eating it because it's like 7,000 calories or whatever. Okay. He takes a drink of it, and he drinks most of it, and then I took a couple of sips, and I took a
You should
couple
brush
of
your
my
teeth after that.
I should brush my teeth. That friction is going to do me in. At any rate, it tasted like nothing.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I ran out of pumpkin salt. I have this thing called Chop House butter. You can buy it. You add it's like got turmeric and all this stuff in it, and it makes your butter taste like Chop House, but it's all natural and stuff. So I put that on my popcorn last night. I put pumpkin spice on my popcorn. I know.
You know what I like putting on my popcorn?
Yeah, what is it?
I make Parmesan popcorn.
This is
so good.
All right. So are you putting? There's
so I do. So I have the Whirly Pop. So I use the coconut oil.
Right.
Well, it's a prepackaged. So
right.
Coconut oil, the popcorn salt, and then popcorn, and then I add melted butter.
Right.
And I put the melted butter over it. At the same time, when it comes out of the popping and you pour it in the thing,
right.
You sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese and you just kind of mix it up. And you get the salty Parmesan, you get the creamy butter.
Oh my God!
And then you get the pop. And
it's
better. I think it's better than
how much? I've got a big thing.
Shaker. Just shake it on.
Okay. Yeah, but how much butter? Yeah, but how much butter do you put in? Is it a quarter of?
Well, I have a popcorn tub that's like it's 4 ounces of popcorn. So the bowl is probably 14 inches across and 6 inches. It's huge.
Yeah. So how much? Well, similar to mine.
That also stays good. Like,
but
you put that in the fridge for the next day.
So I am microwaving my butter.
I put it on the stove.
Okay. So, but how much do you put in there?
Half to 3/4 of a stick.
Half to 3/4. Oh my God, that's an awful lot.
Because you want that. But you're mixing it through a ton of popcorn.
Oh yeah, but I'm eating all of that popcorn.
Well, see, I eat about half, and then I put the rest away in a bag for the next day.
I can't stop. Oh my God!
But the Parmesan popcorn is so good. Like if I'm gonna have popcorn, it's better than the cheddar popcorn you get at the store.
Oh, wild! Oh my God!
It's so good.
Yeah. So at any rate, what was I saying about how do we get on this popcorn and whatever?
Snacks.
Pumpkin spice flavoring on popcorn. Yeah. And Twinkies. I gotta thank whoever this Twinkie Bandit is out there. Oh my God!
Shout out to the Twinkie Bandit.
Yeah. If they strike your house, you're consider yourself part of the
pumpkin spice mafia.
But the pumpkin spice mafia. You haven't
It comes
totally
earlier and earlier though. Pumpkin spice isn't. It's more towards. That's geared towards Thanksgiving, is it not?
Yeah. Look at this. It also says here that the expiration date is October 15th, 2024. Did you know that Twinkies had such
They're shelf stable, yeah. But that's the part that, like I said, that's the part I agree with Bobby Kennedy Jr. about.
Right.
We're eating way too much processed food in this country.
Totally.
Way
Keep
too
away
much.
from those inner aisles. That's all I say.
Well, as much as you can.
Yeah.
You can't get away from all of it.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't. And do you really want to? Some of the best stuff that we have is what's the word? It's not good.
Oh,
for
no,
us.
like you said, some of the best tasting stuff is horrible for you.
Oh, horrible.
Absolutely terrible
horrible
for you.
Yeah. Okay, so look, I wanted to end the show. I always, I
love this song, by the way.
Oh, yeah. But I wanted to end with a remembrance of September 11th. It was a beautiful, beautiful day in New York City. I was there. I was living in New York City on 72nd Street, and we woke up in the morning, and there And Dennis Akins from Westfield called me, and he said, if your television set is not on, you should turn it on.
Yep.
I had left my job the week before, so I was home. I was getting ready to move to here, to Westfield. And we ended up spending that night and the next night with our dear friends, and going through for the next week or 2 or 3, longer than that, this terrible crisis when the world got together. That's, it
was the last time.
Why does it always take a crisis to bring us together? Why can't we view right now even as a crisis of we need to stop the division in our country?
You know what's made it worse, Bob?
Yeah.
That. Look what I'm holding up.
Oh, we
that's made it worse.
Yeah, we are a news.
Just having that
connection?
having that device that nearly makes you autistic,
which keeps you from connecting in
Correct.
some way. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought that and today happens to be the birth day of Mary Oliver, who is the 1984 Pulitzer Prize winning poet, who's got a new book of new and collected poems by Mary Oliver, and that's out. If you don't know Mary Oliver, her poetry is so down to earth, and she wrote this poem for 9/11. And I thought I'd read it to you, and then we'd play as our going out song, Waiting for the World to Change by John Mayer. I thought that would be a way to sort of remember and to say, oh, gosh, let's never be in that situation again in any part of the world. And so here's, Peter, thank you for a good show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wage Peace is the name of this poem, and here it is. And then Peter will play for you Waiting for the World to Change by John Mayer, and we'll see you next week. Wage Peace by Mary Oliver. Wage peace with your breath. Breathe in firemen and rubble. Breathe out whole buildings and flocks of red-winged blackbirds. Breathe in terrorists and breathe out children and fresh-mown fields. Breathe in confusion and breathe out maple trees. Breathe in the fallen and breathe out lifelong friendships intact. Wage peace with your listening. Hearing sirens, pray loud. Remember your tools, flower seeds, clothespins, clean rivers. Make soup. Play music. Learn the word for thank you in 3 languages. Learn to knit and make a hat. Think of chaos as dancing raspberries. Imagine grief as the outbreath of beauty or the gesture of fish. Swim for the other side. Wage peace. Never has the world seemed so fresh and precious. Have a cup of tea and rejoice. Act as if armistice has already arrived. Don't wait another minute. Wage peace.